Hola queridos estudiantes, ¿cómo están? En este video vamos a aprender a hacer preguntas en español. We are going to learn how to form questions in Spanish. Vamos a ver. We are going to see here that there are three main ways of forming questions in Spanish. Aquí tenemos una imagen, so based on this image, we can say, él descansa, descansa él. This would be the second way of asking, right? And the third one, él descansa, no? So we have these three different ways, and I'm sure by now you have noticed that in Spanish, we need two question marks. So, you know, you're familiar with this one, right, in English, but then you have another one that you can call the upside down mark, right? So it's important to remember this. Okay. Let's continue. Let's go over those three ways of asking questions. Muy bien. In Spanish, we can say ella trabaja los sábados. So this is not a question. This is an affirmative sentence, right? Ella trabaja los sábados. So how can we turn this statement into a question? Very simple. So you can see that the text stays the same, except that now we have the two question marks here. And there's one more thing. You have to change the tone of your voice. So here we say, ella trabaja los sábados. For the question, we have to raise the voice at the end of the sentence. Ella trabaja los sábados. So you can see that the pitch goes up. Ella trabaja los sábados. Muy bien. Let's see another example. Él prepara la cena para su novia. So we turn this into a question by adding the question marks, right? And don't forget, you have to change the tone of your voice, right? Él prepara la cena para su novia. Turn that into a question and you will say, él prepara la cena para su novia. Muy bien. Continuamos. Vamos a ver. That was one way of forming questions. Now we're going to see the second way. Ella trabaja los sábados. Same sentence. Ella trabaja los sábados. How can we turn this into a question? Well, trabaja ella los sábados. So again, we need the question marks, and you can see here that we inverted the subject and the verb. Trabaja ella los sábados instead of ella trabaja los sábados. Let's see another example. Él prepara la cena para su novia. Turn this into a question by changing the order again. So the verb comes at the beginning of the question, right? Prepara la cena para su novia él. But now we can see that we actually have two ways of, two places for the subject, right? Él prepara la cena para su novia. Prepara la cena para su novia él. So the subject can go at the end. Muy bien. So that was case number 2. Now we are down to the third way of forming questions. Ella trabaja los sábados. Affirmative sentence. Ella trabaja los sábados. No. So here you can see that the text stays the same. You have to add a comma and then the question marks with the tag word here. Ella trabaja los sábados, ¿no? Él prepara la cena para su novia. So how can we turn this sentence into a question? Él prepara la cena para su novia. ¿Verdad? So these are two tag words that we can use to turn this sentence into a question. So this is pretty much the same as in English when we use the she works on Saturdays, right? And also no, right? She works on Saturdays, no? Okay, so those were the three different ways of forming questions. So, and those questions are usually answered, they can be answered with a yes or no answer, right? Now we're going to go to the question words. So when we use question words, we may need a full sentence, more than one word, right, to answer the question. And let's see, some of the question words are ¿cómo? ¿Qué? ¿Dónde? ¿A dónde? ¿Quién? ¿Quiénes? ¿Cuál? ¿Cuáles? ¿De dónde? ¿Por qué? ¿Cuánto? ¿Cuánta? ¿Y cuándo? So these are the question words. So let's go over them one by one. So to ask a question that requires more than a yes or no answer, we use an interrogative word. In this case, we are going to practice ¿quién? ¿Quién trabaja después de la clase? ¿Quién trabaja después de la clase? So, in this case, you would have to answer, yo trabajo después de la clase. Or, ella trabaja después de la clase. Muy bien. Next word. Next question word. ¿Qué? ¿Qué clases tomas? So again, we need the two question marks, right? ¿Qué clases tomas? Yo tomo clase de español y de filosofía. That is a possible answer. ¿Cuántos? ¿Cuántos estudiantes hablan español? ¿Cuántos estudiantes hablan español? 25 estudiantes hablan español. ¿Cuál prefieres? ¿Cuál? So you're going to see that this is this is similar to the que, but we use it usually when there are choices, right, that we can pick from, just like in English. ¿A dónde vas después de la clase de español? ¿A dónde vas después de la clase de español? So let's compare these two, a dónde and dónde. ¿Dónde están las llaves? So whenever we are looking for something or someone, we're going to say dónde. ¿Dónde están las llaves? ¿Dónde está Juan? However, a dónde it's a very similar meaning. However, we use a dónde when there is a sense of movement. So if there is movement from point A to point B, we are going to use a dónde. ¿A dónde vas? Where do you go? Right? So we know that there's going to be some kind of movement here. Okay. ¿Cuánta tarea hay? So we're going to see here that cuánta en cuánto, right? So this is the one question word that has to change depending on the gender, right, of the word next to it. So tarea is feminine, la tarea. Therefore, we don't say cuánto, we say cuánta. ¿Cuánta tarea hay? Muy bien. ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo llegas a la escuela? ¿Cómo llegas a la escuela? Yo llego a la escuela caminando, walking, or by bus, en autobús, or en coche, right, by car. Muy bien. Ahora, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué? It's another question word that actually two words, right? Because you can see that it is being separated. ¿Por qué? And ¿por qué? So these two have the same pronunciation. However, they have a different meaning, right? ¿Por qué would be why and ¿por qué because. So we're going to use them like in this case. ¿Por qué me abandonas? Porque él es más guapo. Okay, so we can see here that we have the uses of the two words. And very important to notice that the question words, all of them have an accent. So you can see the accent here. Now, we're going to see that in Spanish, we have this example here, caminas a la universidad. So the word no can mean no and not in English, right? No camino a la universidad. So you can see that just like you do in English, right? You have the negative, the double negative. No, I do not walk to the university. We do the same in Spanish. No camino a la universidad. Muy bien. This is it for today.